Hello and welcome again to Table Talk. I'm Mike Holly, one of the pastors at Asbury United Methodist Church, and we are so glad that you are continuing to use this weekly video and reflection guide so that you and others can gather around the dinner table or small group table to continue to learn and grow from our Sunday morning messages. Today we are continuing our focus on real relationships, how our most important relationships can thrive through commitment, oneness, respect, and evolving together. Our reading for this fourth week comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 7. I invite you to listen to these words from Paul. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable, resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoings, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Now, each and every person is created by God and also gifted by God with gifts and purposes to be used to worship God and in the serving of others. We do not start out as mature Christians ready to use expertly crafted spiritual gifts. That's not how it works. The Christian faith is a lifelong journey of growing and evolving into who God has created and called us to be. One of the things that we need to remember in each of our most important relationships is that all of us must continue to grow and evolve. Now, this text from Paul's letter to the church in Corinth is familiar to most people because it's most often read at weddings. But his words about love can be applied to our relationships at large, especially for relationships that go the distance. He tells us that love is patient. Love does not insist on its own way. This is how relationships can continue to thrive even when people grow and change over time. We must be patient with one another and understand that God has designed them to grow into a more whole person. We cannot be so afraid of change that we insist on our own way, trying to prevent people from growing into the best version of themselves. Instead, we need to find ways to fight distance. If people change and drift apart, then the relationship weakens. Relationships that allow change and last the test of time find ways to encourage and bless change and growth, while at the same time finding ways to build common ground and hold on to shared faith, shared memories, and shared goals or values. You might need to ask yourself about your own journey of spiritual growth. How have you grown over time, and where do you see your spiritual journey going? In your relationships, you might ask yourself, how can you fight distance in those relationships? How do you display care and interest in the development and growth of the people you care about in your life? Take some time to consider these questions and remember to click on the link below to download a Table Talk reflection guide with questions and other resources for your conversations as you faithfully worship, serve, and grow.